lovely people of the internet. My name is Sam, owner of Daisy Chains Pole Dance and Fitness, and I thought I'd bring you a video about particularly grip and also sweating and hyperhidrosis. Hyperhidrosis is a condition you're born with. I've had it since I was a baby, and it just causes you pretty much to sweat like crazy. You have no control over it, so you can be perfectly relaxed and your sweat glands are just going nuts. So it sucks, but you can learn to live with it. And the good news is pole dancing is not out for you yet. So if you are a fitness instructor, if you lift weights, if you're a pole dancer or an aerialist, this is the video for you. So I'll go over some grip aids and products I use, and trust me, I've used copious amounts with my medical conditions, and I'll highlight the pros and cons of each one and the ones I find the most helpful, particularly for sweaty hands. First things first, we have our shaving cream. So I know what you're thinking. You're like, okay, are we getting in the shower? Are we shaving our legs? Nope. Shaving cream is a trick that was taught to me by my amazing pole mom, Allison Shepherd. You can check her out in Red Deer as she teaches lessons there. And this is for your body, okay? You don't necessarily want to put this on your hands, but this will allow you to stick to the pole if it's a particularly dry and cold day. A great thing and very cheap. You can get this at the dollar store or at Choppers, and it's a great thing to have. What you want to do is you want to make sure you don't coat it on too thick, but you do want to have a nice even layer of your legs, or maybe your bicep, whatever you're gripping. Smooth it out, make sure there's no, just like sunscreen really, and then maybe stand in front of a fan or air your arms or legs out before you go on the pole, and it should give you some good stick in your knee pits or your bicep or your legs. So this is a trick for everyone, not just people who have hyperhidrosis. It can be very useful. Dry hands. Dry hands is by far the most superior product, in my opinion. By the way, I don't get paid by anyone to endorse these products, but I've tried many different grip aids, but this is the best one, okay? And like when I say I've tried many, I've tried anything you can get off Amazon pretty much, or in a pole studio. This works the best for sweaty hands. If your hands are really sweaty, like if you have a medical condition like me, what I would suggest is putting a fan, like a stand-up fan in your house, put it on the dry hands, airing your hands out in front of the fan. That way you don't have to pause in between tricks too much, and you can just use it. However, the con to dry hands is it's very expensive, and it seems like there's a shortage on the internet right now, and the price is kind of going up, so that's a major con. Some other grip aids I've tried, maybe if you don't have hyperhidrosis. This one's very comparable to dry hands, but I find I don't reach for it as often just because it's just not my favorite. It also leaves your hands to be a little bit more like chalk consistently in color. Like your hands will be kind of more white than dry hands, but it's still a good product. Another one that I have is this one. This one you can get off Amazon. I'd say these two are great for weightlifting, but maybe not pole if you have a medical condition like I do. But still, like this one, again, is very, very, very chalky. It'll leave a very thick white residue on your hands, but it still does the job for like a lift if you're just going to the gym, but not my favorite for pole. Another thing that I find really helpful for hyperhidrosis is tight grip. It's not necessarily a miracle worker per se, but it will, I find it does make a difference. Like I can tell on days I forget to put it on before I go to pole class, and the days that I do put it on. You wanna make sure you give yourself enough time. So I usually will get all my stuff together for class, I'll put it on, I'll stick my hands in front of the fan so it dries off nice, and then I'll try not to touch anything, and I'll do that like an hour before class. So this is a good one to try. It's an antiperspirant, so you can't just like put it on and jump on the pole. But surprisingly enough, my instructor and I found that if you coat the pole with this, and you're able to take it off, of course, it will help you stick to the pole, like your body, if the pole is not sticky for you, if it's like a cold day. So it's a good product to have in your repertoire. Of course, iTac, great product for the body, but not so much for sweaty hands, but I do recommend this product. And Mighty Grip. Now I have like a love-hate relationship with this product. It's not so great for hyperhidrosis because it's activated by you rubbing your hands together. And what I found is like the heat generated from your hands will make my hands sweat. So it's not really the greatest for that. However, there have been times where it's been like a cold day and I'm just kind of warming up and I'm not like super sweaty, and I've used it, and it does have like a nice stick to it once you activate it, but it does involve me rub my hands together and then my hands get really sweaty. So that's why it's like hit and miss. I've only ever bought one bottle. This is the bottle I've had for 2 years. So that shows you how much I use it. And there's like barely anything in there. So it's just not one I really reach for, but I think if you're a drier person, or if you, again, don't sweat that much, this would probably be a good bet for you, because it does, like, once you do activate it, have a good like balance of like stick to like chalk ratio. So that's a good one. Really what's been working for me lately is these gloves. These are football gloves. You can get them for like 25 bucks on Amazon, and they have silicone all over the hand, which is amazing. So I have some of the half grip gloves. These guys, Mighty Grip gloves. I just find that these don't work as well. Like, and the reason being, so they have like PVC on the hand and they have like a nice strap and they look great. But what I find is because of my medical condition, like my hands sweat so severe. Like my dermatologist said that like my hands are like the most severe she's seen. My hands will actually sweat through the glove and they'll sweat through the finger hole. So I need like a full finger glove. But again, if you aren't super sweaty, maybe these are helpful. I know a woman with, again, same medical condition as I do. She says these are fine for her, but like I don't like them at all. But it is. So other products you can use is, of course, you can get some pretty much military grade antiperspirant. This is just one example, but there's lots of different ones. There's Dryzol. This one's called Zero Sweat. There's a lot of different products out there. Personally, like, I find that like it doesn't really help my condition because it's so severe. I find it works better like in my armpits than it does my hands and my feet, but hey, it's worth a shot and it's not that expensive. I think this is like 20 bucks. I can't recall, but it does last quite a bit, and you kind of need to put it on and apply it for several kind of consecutive days to kind of build up strength to it. But a lot of people do give it positive reviews on Amazon, so it's worth a shot, but for me personally, it hasn't really made that much of a difference. And another thing you can do is, again, of course, you want to consult your physician about any medications you take, and you need to, you know, maybe get referred to a specialist if you might have hyperhidrosis. But this medication, it's called glycopyrrolate, was prescribed to me by a dermatologist, so a specialist. Pretty much how it works is it just like dries you out, like dries out your entire body. So like dries out your mouth, it dries out your hands, your sweat glands, it dries out your bowels. It's kind of a miserable medication, but it is effective. I notice it more like in my everyday life, like my hands will be super dry. But when it comes to working out, like if I go for a run or if I pull, it does help a little bit. Like I will notice again, like with a tight grip, I'll notice days that I forget to take it, or if I don't take it because I don't want to have dry mouth all day before class versus the days I don't. But honestly, to me, like the discomfort from having your mouth be so dry and like, you know, just being like dry, your skin gets dried out, it's just like not really worth it to me. But who knows, maybe if you have a performance or something, or like if you don't mind having dry mouth, then maybe it's something you want to talk to your doctor about. But there is hope. If you do have hyperhidrosis, it's the medication's glycopyrrolate, glycopyrrolate. So you can talk to your doctor about that. That's all I have for you guys right now. I hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully it was helpful or gave you some hope if you have a sweating problem. Please let me know any questions you have, and I'll see you next time.